Good afternoon, welcome to the Shack M1 GEO. Just looking at this Silicon Labs SI5351A breakout board by EtherKit. It's by, as I understand, designed by Jason Mildrum, November Tango 7 Sugar. So there we go. As I understand, does from near enough DC to 160 megahertz. 3 outputs there. This is with the TCXO on it as well, so high stability crystal there. And I'm driving it from a Chinese clone Arduino, I think fancy here. It's just 2 wires here running from 5V and the serial data serial clock blinds going across a couple of jumper leads onto the board there. There's a couple of transistors on it that you can see, or I should say FETs actually, here and here. These two, Q1 and Q2, if you can see the legend. And what Jason's done there is use them to make level shifters. The part here, the actual Silicon Labs part, this bit here is only 3.3V tolerant, so this board gives it a bit of isolation. Let's use 5V logic with it, and there's a few jumpers to select that, and an onboard voltage regulator here as well. So there we go. What I've got, what I wanted it for, was to do a bit of messing around with JT65, Whisper, Qrss, and things like that on 2 meters. So a long time ago now, I wrote, you may have seen it on Twitter and on the website, on YouTube as well. I wrote a 2 meter Arduino sketch to do to drive out a homebrew hacked about sort of analog multiplier system running on a 1204 ohmeg crystal, and multiplying that up to get me roughly where I wanted to be, and then pulling that very slightly with a Vericap to modulate CW and stuff on it. But that worked fairly well. But this should be much better and calibrated control. Frequency steps down to 0.01 hertz, as I understand, so it should be good. Haven't actually read too much about this, but there we go. Over here as well, my trusty ICOM 7100, and it's just turned down at the moment. So we're going to test it on 2 meters. It's set to transmit on 144.1 megahertz. Got a bit of wire here that I was using to point with. I'm using the output 0, just a bit of wire just to enable a bit better pickup. And the sketch what I've written just transmits my call sign in CW locator. It's just a wrapper function for this board. It then transmits the battery voltage because it was unattended. I'll just sort of, while we were on field days, we left it transmitting, see if we got any spots with it. So we'll transmit the battery voltage so we could see if it was going or not, and various other things like that. So what I'll do is I'll sorry, alarm on the phone. Fire up the USB cable, turn the audio up. We should see it demodulate on this computer here, demodulate the received Morse, and then I'll look at with baud line, look at some of the other bits and pieces it does with the QRSS stuff. But there we go. Okay, so a bit of noise up on here. Okay, turn that noise blinker off. So what it does, it sort of transmits a few bips first of all, just to allow us to get the timing. It's set to send Morse fairly fast, and it sends QRSS at a very standard 3-minute dip speed. So you won't be able to hear too much of that because there's only a 5 hertz shift on that. Here we go. Okay. So. Okay. I'll clear the window quickly. Okay. Too slow. Battery voltage. It's nonsense at the moment because it's not running from batteries, it's just noise. And it starts to transmit our QRSS. A bit wobbly here, but by the time it's ovened, it's only just come on, you'll notice. So by the time it's ovened, it should be good. Let's quickly flash over to baud line here. You can see it starting to do its thing here. So you can see the frequency steps in it and the jump on the four-header main. So once it's stabilised out and the temperature's a bit better, we should be well away. But there we go. I'll just got to quickly show you that. So the next job is to tidy that up a little bit, potentially thermally encase it and get it calibrated a bit better. Got a little 1 watt PA that I used before. Need to probably add a little sort of driver stage to that, and there we go. I'm told that this will do 20 milliwatts full power out, but advised to run it a little bit less so that it's a little cleaner. So there we go. Anyway, we'll have a mess around and see what we can get, but watch this space. Cheers for now, and thanks for watching. M1GEO.